Hello, everyone. I just got back from Rogue One, so we are going to talk about it here in this video. The first half of this video is going to be spoiler-free, and then the second half we're going to get into the real good stuff. Now, when I say this is going to be spoiler-free, I'm going to assume that you have watched some, if not all, of the trailers, because there might actually be some stuff in the trailers that I talk about. Okay, first of all, I just got back from the theater, and so you almost need some time just to sort of sit back and process things for a little bit. So I'm actually just jumping right into it because I actually have some other stuff that I've got to get to, so I'm sort of rushing this out. But to sort of get into it here, first of all, I thought the movie was good. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to start to try and do this without giving out, any spoilers. The thing I want to say, I guess, to kick this off would be that this is a solo film. And there has not technically been a film of this nature in the Star Wars universe since 1977 when that original one opened. It's like you kind of knew what you were getting into, but you didn't really know. It was something new. It's something that we had never seen before, never done before. And for the first time since 77, I think this movie is exactly that. You know, we're finally getting a Star Wars movie that is not an episode, kind of, but not really connected to the others. It is just sort of a filler that is in that 20-year gap between episodes 3 and episodes 4. And another way to look at it, and I was actually thinking about this, is in the expanded universe that is now non-canon, there is a bunch of, the books that were done, including some of the sort of solo books, not Han Solo, but just the one-off shoot books. And I thought about this movie. That's exactly what this movie is. This movie is just simply, it's a one-off. And that's sort of how it has to be treated in some respects. Because coming out of the film, my initial thoughts were, okay, that's different. It was good, but it was different. And some of the things that I think made it different is, not only, again, do we have another new director, a new cast and crew for the most part, and there's even for the first time ever, somebody else did the musical score. And this was something I just found out a few days ago because I thought John Williams was doing the score for this one. Turns out he actually dropped it, I think, for episode 8. I think he couldn't maybe do both of them at the same time. But there's some new guy, who I don't know who it is, who ended up doing the score for episode 8. And you could definitely tell that it was not a John Williams score. I think the music in this one was good, but it was sort of just there. You weren't getting the grand epicness that is the John Williams music. So that I think that did definitely affect the film. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, but probably right down the middle. Let's see here. What else can I actually say without things going too crazy? We know that Darth Vader is in the film based on the trailers. And I can tell you, every single scene that had Vader in it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Every single Darth Vader scene. I think he was in it probably just the right amount. It wasn't too much Vader. It wasn't, not enough Vader. I think it was right down the middle. There were definitely a bunch of surprise cameos, some that I never expected, and it was kind of great to see them. Just sort of these quick little one-off cameos were great. There were other cameos that you're like, okay, I kind of knew that cameo was going to be in it. It had to be in it, and it was. And I've got to say that I think the end of the film, I totally called, like the final scene in the film, I totally called that. I knew exactly that was going to be the end, and I'm so happy that I was able to call that. But I can't spoil that one. But it's exactly as I predicted in my mind. I'm like, all right, this is how they're going to end this one. And then, after that, you've got episode 4, and I'll say no more on that. As far as the cast and crew, I think Felicity Jones and what she did was great. I got no issues with her performance. I mean, everybody overall. I mean, there was no one character that was really like, I thought that character was a little weak. No, I thought they all did their good job. The Donnie Yen character, who again in the trailers, he is the blind guy with the stick in the trailers, who is like talking about the Force, and so he's maybe one of the most intriguing characters because you don't know. And again, from the trailer, you've seen that he's got these awesome fighting skills, and he's talking about the Force. So it's like, is he Force sensitive? Is he actually a Jedi and he's not telling us? What's the deal with his character? So I thought his character was really, really intriguing. I know going in, a lot of people thought that they didn't know if Forrest Whitaker could pull off his role, and I thought he did a fine job with that. He actually wasn't in it that much. He was, again, sort of a side character. But I guess I'll just sort of wrapping up the non-spoiler section, because, again, it's really hard to talk about this without spoiling everything. Visual effects, sound, all of that was perfect. It's a Star Wars film. You know what you're going to get out of that. It was great to see some of the battle scenes, and just overall, it's a good film. So definitely go out and see it. I'm definitely going to see it a second time because I actually posted on Twitter. I was like, good film. It was different, but I think I need to see it again for a deeper meaning, and that's exactly what I think I need to do, is see it a second time to really focus on things that I may have missed in the first run. Because in the, and again, trying to say this without spoiling things, the first, let's say, 20 minutes of the film was all over the place. And it was a good all over the place because they're trying to set up the story, in the first half of the film, which most films do. But yeah, I think right there we're gonna end the spoiler section so we can get into this a little more. My final score: 1 out of 10, 5 being average. This one is really hard for me to place. It is, and I'm probably going to change my score because, again, this is another thing where, like I said, I just got out of the theater, and I feel like I need more time to reflect on it, and again, maybe even see it a second time. But I am going to go an 8 out of 10. Oh, and, okay, one other thing I'll say here real quick, and this was something that some people and I were sort of talking back and forth about on both Twitter and Twitch when I was live streaming. And this right here gets an automatic 1 point deduction because of this. And that is the film had no opening crawl. And I'll tell you why this is a problem for me, okay? Looking at you right here. This is why this is a problem for me. Every Star Wars movie to date had an opening crawl. It is the thing, or one of the things that makes Star Wars, right? Every video game that has ever come out, any Star Wars interactive anything that's ever come out has an opening crawl. To say, well, it doesn't get an opening crawl because it's not an episode, I don't care. It needs an opening crawl. It's a Star Wars movie. Again, look at every Star Wars game that's ever come out. Like Force Awakens, the game that I play mostly on this channel. Every single chapter they do, every single expansion gets an opening crawl. This movie should have had an opening crawl. Just Rogue One, bum, 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 and it just goes up and it's like, blah, 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 blah. Should have had it. So automatic -1 point right there. So that anybody who thinks it's a 10 out of 10, nope. Opening crawl, it's automatically an 8 after that. Okay, so enough with that. So for those who are not sticking around for the spoiler section, you guys have a good day. So we are now going to talk about spoilers. All right. First thing I want to say about the Darth Vader scenes. I'm going right to Darth Vader on this one. Every single Darth Vader scene was epic, as I said before. The parts where he's pulling out his lightsaber, especially near the end, he pulls out his lightsaber and he's just mowing down rebels, just going through that hallway. That is, I think, something that we've needed to see for a long, long time. And one of the concerns that I had going into this film, and I actually talked about this on Twitch, was when you were a kid and you saw Star Wars for the first time, episode 4, 5, and 6, Darth Vader, he was a villain. He was a bad guy. You feared him and everything that he stood for. And then when they came out with 1, 2, and 3, I think they ruined that. They really ruined that for me, and I think most everybody else out there. So when they had Darth Vader in this film, I wanted it to bring back the fear, bring back the intimidation, and I think they actually did that. So Darth Vader is officially a badass again. So props to them on that. Just every scene with him in it was absolutely fantastic. Next, I want to talk about the CGI, because it was rumored that Tarkin was in this film, and he is. The original Tarkin from 1977, he is in this film, full CGI. And also, at the end, young Princess Leia is in it too. And I want to say that this whole, doing old, making old actors young again with the CGI, it's something that they are getting better at, better and better. It was in Tron, it was in one of the Terminator movies where they made Arnold look young, and it's been in a bunch of stuff. It was in Ant-Man, and it's a technology that they are getting better and better and better at. The problem is they're not quite there yet. They are really, really close, I think. And there were spots where I thought Tarkin looked really good, and I thought there was a few spots in there where I thought he looked a little fake. And then, of course, they tried to find a voice actor that matched Peter Cushing, I believe his name was, and it was definitely a little off. You could tell. The young Princess Leia shot, I thought that looked a lot better than Tarkin. That was pretty much spot on, but it was also a very, very quick shot. And when you're doing the fake CGI stuff and you do super quick shots, that's a lot better because you won't notice all the flaws. But Tarkin was on screen a lot. I was really surprised at how much airtime Tarkin got. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. And then sort of going back to CGI and old stuff, during the space battle, the last space battle, they actually used old footage, again, super, super brief, and I think they tried to change it a little bit, so you could actually have some of the X-Wing and Y-Wing pilots that were in Episode 4 were actually in this movie. And I thought that was a really, really nice touch. You could tell that it was fake, though. At least I could. I think they did the best job they could to blend things in, but you could still tell that it was kind of fake. But still, I thought it was great. I'm really glad they did it. It was definitely nice to see Jimmy Smits as Bail Organa. That was another one that was rumored going in. He didn't really have many lines. He was almost there more just as a background image, but it was still cool to see him. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to talk about the jump thing that I briefly discussed before. We went to more planets in this single movie than I think all the rest of the Star Wars films combined. It was almost a little overwhelming. It's like, boom, we're going to this planet. Boom, we're going to this planet. Boom, we're going to this planet. They did 5 to 7 planets in the first 20 minutes? It was crazy. I mean, I'll have to keep a running tally next time. How many planets did we either see or go to in this film? It had to be 10? 12? No, maybe not 12, but it's got to be in that 7 to 10 range. It was a lot. It was crazy to see just so many planets in one movie. I'm like, is this Star Wars or is this Star Trek or what is this? I don't know what's going on. Let's see, what else was there? All of the humor in this film was from K2SO, I believe is what the droid was, who was... And I think all of his jokes fell pretty good. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I really didn't like too much about that droid, but yeah, I think everything fell pretty good for that droid. He was a great companion for the team. Let's see, what else did I want to sort of discuss here? Again, fresh out of the theater. Sometimes I'll actually make like notes and stuff. It's like, okay, I want to cover this topic and this topic, but I actually had to sort of fire this video out really quick. So I'm just doing everything off the top of my head here. But I'm just trying to think, was there any other like super points that I wanted to... It was nice to see a new version of the AT-AT. They actually do have a name for it too, which I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It was like and those were the ones where it looked like they almost had like the wood on the sides, but they were basically like the deploy like deploy units or whatever. It was nice to see the sort of the X-wings and Y-wings really cutting down the walkers with their torpedoes and stuff. I thought that was a really nice touch. It's like this cutting the legs off and stuff, and they're falling down. Oh, also the part with the blockade runner where they use the ion cannons or the ion shots to disable a Star Destroyer, and then they use the little Corvette, and they actually are pushing it into the other one. I thought that was a really cool scene. But yeah, that's I think I'll go ahead and wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I just need to focus on maybe I'll do another video down the road where we can get into stuff a little bit deeper once people actually get a chance to see the movie, and we can also talk about it on Twitch during a couple of live streams here down the road. But we got to get everybody to see it first, so definitely go out and see the film. It's definitely another great single story within the Star Wars universe, and I hope they keep doing these single stories, because it's great anytime we get to see anything on the big screen for Star Wars. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That will go ahead and do it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching. And with that being said, everybody keep playing, or in this case, keep watching, and have fun.